and you write your poems and you keep them in your books and then, put the book under the pillow, let me tell you, that is not a place where your poems should be. Yeah. Your poems should be outside there with musicians. They should be with the graphic artists, They should be with fashion designers. They should be with theater directors, so that you can allow them to become products that are beyond just, poems on a page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. On that note, Peter Kagai, we want you to just give us an understanding of the three things that you have talked about in a poem.
In a poem.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. On the spontaneous, if you're looking at, if I want to see the good example of prose, of a definition defining and distinguishing between the poem, the prose, and the drama.
Yes.
Yes. I know you match three of them in one go.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in a spotlight just so that somebody out there can actually understand exactly, practically what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Here is Peter, and we want to hear from you. If you're a poet, if you're a drummer, if you're a writer, please. I think that Peter is giving you something very interesting. Let's dive into it right now.
Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. But before you go, turn your ear towards the night sky and hear the sound of the raging storm. Hear the vociferous fury. The Sandra Brigade is seething as it comes together to march in a single force. Someone ran very fast and announced the trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Sana fuziridde kalala nkoma omusana gwakira ku bikukuju enkoko za KFC twazirisiza nkuku nyina makovu. The rumor is ripe for harvest and the village has gathered to know. Someone ran very fast and announced the trouble.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much, Peter. Peter, I mean, we're learning quite a bit from you on the creative industry talk. I want to take you straight to my next question. What is your work schedule like when you are actually writing these plays? Because there's another thing, what frame of mind must you be in, or must I be in when I'm writing? You've been writing for some time. You've been across the borders, across Europe, across Americas. What has been the experiences you pick from there, and what is your schedule like when you're writing? What kind of frame of mind should one be in, or are you always in when you're writing to put this beautiful work out there?
I think now I can recognize it. I can say there are two frames of mind that I'm always in. One, there is when I am writing work to be performed. And I am deliberate about, I envision the audience that I'm going to be with. Perhaps I even already have the contract and I'm told, you write this play or write this poem, it's supposed to be for this purpose. And I put myself to that target. And so that influences the decisions you make. For example, the books I'm going to buy to read. Because that is where, for me, the resources go in research. Who should I consult about this particular topic that I'm supposed to be writing about or performing about? So there is that frame of mind. But then there's also the frame of mind of the leisure writer who is with friends and then someone makes a joke and then it tickles your mind. And so where you are writing for yourself, you're not really writing to deliver. You're just writing a beautiful kind of work. So for me, there are two types of frames of mind. So for the very first one, I have a process. And for me, the process is, I take it like an assignment. So I'm going to write about a topic, I write the topic down. I ask myself about in what languages do I want it to be, I take note of that. What other ideas do I want to explore? What are the themes I want to explore in this particular topic? I write them down. Who has written about them? I go and buy those books. Now, it could be an academic book, it could be a drama book, it could be a novel, it could be a poetry book. So then I start reading about that topic. Then in the process of reading about it, I am listening to what people are saying. I'm listening to the radio, I'm watching TV, I'm on social media. Try to tap into the vibe of what are the people saying or thinking about this. Then, and that could sometimes take a period of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Then after 2 weeks of reading and researching and listening to people, then I start writing the poem. There is that deliberate process.
Yeah.
Then for the second stage where I'm writing for myself and I'm really writing about what inspires me, that I can do anytime, any day. In fact, sometimes I task myself to say, you know what,
yes,
I want to write 100 poems this month. And it doesn't matter whether they're going to be the best poems or not. For me, what I want is my deliverables at the end of the month.
Yeah.
At the end of 30 days, I must have written 3 poems every day. So you write a poem and I say, I'm going to write a poem when I wake up. I'm going to write a poem after I've had my lunch. I'm going to write a poem before I sleep. And I'm going to just be writing about the things that are happening in my day. So you sort of document your life, or you make a diary of your life through poems.
Yeah.
And these are things you're not going to share with anyone, things that you may not even like. So, but what I recognize most importantly is that the moment I decided to become a writer, I said this is my 9 to 5. The same way a lawyer wakes up, an engineer wakes up, they leave work, they go to one office, they have a boss they account to, they have deliverables at the end of the month. I, as a writer, even when I'm my own boss, I have to give myself deliverables.
Which is disciplined.
That discipline is key. I know so many people who decided to become writers because they are lazy. They didn't want to go and do other things and they thought they could just get away with it. So they come into this world, yes, of creative writing and they slack. Yes. You know, guys who write 1 book in 6 years, you know, they write 3 poems and they recite 3 poems for 5 years. And you're wondering, where is your effort going? And you're still wondering why creatives are broke. You know, we need to put ourselves to that question and ask ourselves, what are we doing to make sure that we produce more and more and more and more and more and more and more? Because it is in producing this a lot, that we can get the best, yeah, out of our generation. Wow. If you know, even when we say these are, you see, even when we say these are our talents, yeah, it should not be an excuse for us to avoid the hard work. Yeah. You know, we keep saying that, you know, writing is 1% inspiration, yeah, and 99% perspiration. You see, in fact, we write more, we find ourselves writing more when we are less inspired than, yeah, when we are inspired. Right. If you're going to wait for inspiration to hit you to write, you're not a writer. You are a waiter. Writers write. Like lawyers, and engineers, engine things, doctors. We writers write. Whether you like it or not, whether you're unwell or not, whether you're broke or not, it's what you do. So the most important thing is to come up with a routine that's going to make sure that you keep producing. You keep, the Irish people say, yeah, here in Uganda we say you are as broke as a poet. Yes. The Irish say you are, in Uganda we say you're broke you're as poor as a church mouse. As church mouse, yes. The Irish say you're as poor as a poet. So, unless we want to keep in that vicious cycle of poverty, of writers or artists always complaining to our government here to Yambe, if we want to break that cycle, we have to also break our cycle of indolence. Yes. We have to be prolific. We have to come up with routines that push us to keep producing more and more and more and more. Because that's what our economy needs. Wow.
Peter, hold it right there. We're going to go for a break. This is the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Eddie Okela, talking to Peter Kagai, who is a poet, and he is a writer, a lawyer. I think I love what he's saying, that if you're a writer, if you continue to sit and don't write and wait for inspirations to write, you are a waiter. That's the line for the day today. Stay right there. I'll be right back after this break.
An army of sheep led by a lion will beat an army of lions led by a sheep. That's a pay.
Yes.
So let's be very honest about this thing, and really understand that you need to understand where you lie and where you fall. So it's very important for us to understand that leadership has to be definitive. You can't be laissez-faire. It has to be definitive. You have to be strong, just like a lion. You know, when a lion meets an elephant or a buffalo or whatever, the buffalo and all these animals run away. And yet, by the way, they are stronger than the lion. They are heavier than the lion. They are more intelligent than the lion. They are taller than the lion. They run away. The lion, because of its attitude, it sees lunch. That is a leader.
Mr. Tonatra, thank you very much for coming to the CEO bench. And I want to ask you, so if you were elected the President of the Republic of Uganda today, what would be your first State of Nation address? Now, as you look into the camera and close the show.
I think my first State of the Nation address would first of all to... I think I'll just close it down.
I want to know from you, you know, and of course somebody who's watching this show either from here or a child watching in Myanmar or wherever they're watching, or in Congo where we're watched very much, would want to know, if I don't have the money and I have the passion and I have the zeal and I have the drive, but money is also needed to start it, how do I start? Where do I go? At least for you, your father gave you 300,000 to go and do a course. We don't know whether you spent the whole school fees or you only spent 1 month, took part of the school fees. What happened? How did you start, you know, your fashion? Did you get money from somewhere? How should one start if I want to start? And I was like, Kasozi.
I think we should try to be close to people who love what we do, basically.
Yeah.
Because even me, I managed to skip from that low level to another level because I had networks. Yes. Just me and Mia meeting Gloria Wavamuno changed my mind. Because I used to be in Muyayona Street. So someone introduced me to Gloria Wavamuno, that I'm good, me I didn't know. Then, yeah, I lost my phone like over 2 months.
Yes.
So surprisingly, I got a text from Gloria. Customers have been looking for you over the last 3 months. Then my mind was like, the daughter of a tycoon is looking for me. I was even moving on Lumu Street.
Yes.
So that changed my mind and started respecting myself a bit. Like, somehow I'm important. If someone important
is looking for me,
that's opened my mind and start to know that I need to be serious, have a skill, have a business, and also work more with my fashion, because by then I was still an amateur. So I never had money to go to buy books, and no designer could invite me, So I got to know basically all the knowledge through Alistock, but I couldn't afford any book. I could go open and feed the mind. I move out, I make notes before I forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
We sit in the darkest corner of my vast mind. Rhymes, metaphors, and I. A friendship for 15 years and a million demons we share. Our feet shackled together. Today is just another day in prison. Another failed attempt to escape this compulsion. Compelling my resistance to this attraction of paper and pen. The urge to pick up this ink and stain this white is overwhelming. An agonizing ecstasy. My mind brimming and bursting at the seams with words and sentences. Drowning me, choking me with desire to write. so dark, so painful, so sweet, allowing me no peace until these words are allowed to flow from the gooey matter of my brain, through my veins, out of my fingers, into this pen, through the ink with which I jot this down. In this moment, I realize I've become a prisoner of my talent. Yes, I say talent not with vanity. I say talent because in days such as this, it ceases to be a privilege. It turns into a jail cell I've tried to break from, but each time I attempt to escape, I fall right back harder. Now I realize this was never my decision to make or to change. I am part of a separate entity of spirits who live by the pen.